Amazing facts about the mongoose. Meet the mongoose, nature's snake-fighting superstar. Wiry, agile, and fiercely brave, they've earned their reputation. Their diet? Snake venom. Yes, they're immune to it. Incredible, right? Their key weapon? Lightning-fast reflexes. They can dodge venomous snake strikes with ease. They're also highly sociable creatures. They live in large communities, displaying immense teamwork. Wrapping up, the mongoose is more than just a furry-friendly puppy. It's a lean, mean, snake-hunting machine that you better respect. 10 of the deadliest snakes in the world. Snakes bite about 5.4 million people annually, causing thousands of deaths. Black mambas can kill with just 2 drops of venom. Furthermore, they're extremely aggressive. Feux de lances are responsible for half of all snakebite venom poisonings. Moomsline venom causes internal bleeding and can be fatal. Eastern tiger snakes can cause poisoning in humans within 15 minutes. Russell's vipers cause a significant majority of snakebite deaths in India. Saw-scaled vipers have venom that can lead to internal bleeding and kidney failure. Banded crate venom paralyzes muscles and prevents breathing. King cobras inject a large amount of venom into their victims. Coastal taipans are incredibly fast and aggressive in their attacks.
Top 10 healthiest vegetables. Spinach, a powerhouse leafy vegetable packed with vitamins A, C, K, and folate. Kale, similar to spinach, antioxidants help prevent cancer. Broccoli, powerhouse cruciferous vegetable, has vitamins A, C, K, and fiber, high in antioxidants. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, an antioxidant converted into vitamin A, just don't overeat it. Tomatoes, a fruit that is rich in lycopene, an antioxidant, good source of vitamins A and C as well as fiber. Avocados, a fruit that is high in healthy fats, fiber, and vitamin C and K. Lentils, a legume, has protein, fiber, iron, folate, potassium, and magnesium. Beans, similar to lentils. Sweet potatoes, rich in beta-carotene and antioxidant, vitamins A, C, and fiber. Green peas, protein and vitamins. So there you have it, happy and healthy eating.
Top 5 insects deadly to humans. Africanized bees, also known as killer bees, are a hybrid of European honeybees and African bees. They are aggressive and have been responsible for several deaths. The black widow spider is found in most continents. It is easily identified by its red hourglass marking on its abdomen. The black widow's venom is highly toxic and can cause severe pain, muscle cramps, and difficulty breathing. The brown recluse spider is found in the southern United States. It is a small, brown spider with a violin-shaped marking on its back. The brown recluse's venom can cause necrosis or tissue death. The tsetse fly is found in Africa. It is a blood-sucking fly that can transmit a disease called sleeping sickness. Sleeping sickness is a deadly disease that can cause coma and death. Mosquitoes can cause a host of diseases, from malaria to yellow fever, from dengue to chikungunya. If untreated, some can be severe and deadly. What do you think? Let us know. See you next time. Top 10 poorest countries by gross domestic product, GDP, as per the IMF, the International Monetary Fund 2023. Democratic Republic of the Congo with GDP per capita of $432. Zimbabwe with GDP per capita of $431. Tajikistan with GDP per capita of $403. Somalia with GDP per capita of $375. South Sudan with GDP per capita of $368. Sierra Leone with GDP per capita of $352. Niger with GDP per capita of $345. Malawi with GDP per capita of $336. Central African Republic with GDP per capita of $324. Burundi with GDP per capita of $308 ranks the poorest. Note, please, these are based on IMF's 2023 data only. 10 interesting facts about Lauterbrunnen, Switzerland. Lauterbrunnen first mentioned in 1240 AD as Clairefonte, later in 1304 with its current name. Lauterbrunnen is a village and municipality in Canton Bern, Switzerland. Population about 2,290 people. Unemployment rate of 1.9% as of 2011. Featured in James Bond film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Eisenfluh merged into Lauterbrunnen in 1973. Amtsbezirk Interlaken dissolved in 2009, joined Verwaltungskreis Interlaken-Oberhasli. Lauterbrunnen is 795 meters or 2,608 feet above mean sea level. Known as the Valley of the 72 Waterfalls. In the predominant German-speaking region of Switzerland, a truly beautiful place to visit. Top 10 Most Corrupt Countries based on Transparency International Corruption Perception Index, CPI. CPI ranges from 0, most corruption perception, to 100, least corruption perception. Somalia, where corruption is fueled by conflict and the pirates. South Sudan's leaders have diverted millions of dollars for personal gain. Syrian civil war has led to mismanagement of relief funds. Venezuela's mismanagement of wealth and oil has led to political upheaval and corruption. Yemen's civil war has caused a humanitarian crisis and lack of government accountability. Burundi's corruption is systemic, affecting high-ranking officials to street-level employees. Equatorial Guinea's authoritarian government leads to mismanagement of funds and corruption. Haiti has suffered from corruption and a social crisis since the 2010 earthquake. North Korea's lack of transparency allows corruption to thrive. Finally, Libya's political unrest has led to unchecked corruption. Top 5 powerful countries in the world, 2023. USA, an economic powerhouse with strongest equipped military. China, wielding immense industrial strength, advancing rapidly in technology. Russia, a military giant, known for its strategic prowess and vast natural resources. India, now officially the largest country by population, has phenomenal growth in economy, technology, and military prowess. India is also the world's largest democracy. It may be incredibly diverse, but if you mess with India first, they don't just take it or talk about it, they get even. Example, Uri surgical strike in Pakistan occupied Kashmir under current Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016. Germany, Europe's economic titan, leading in global politics and innovation. Join us as we explore the strength and influence of these powerful nations. Stay tuned! Top 8 Richest Cities in Asia, 2023. Tokyo, Japan. A bustling metropolis, financial powerhouse with a GDP of $1.5 trillion. Seoul, South Korea. With its technological prowess, contributes $779 billion to Asia's wealth. Hong Kong, China. A hub for global finance and commerce, it boasts a GDP of $362 billion. Singapore, a small yet prosperous city-state. Robust economy and high living standards, it adds $340 billion. Shanghai, China's economic epicenter, contributing a sizable $516 billion. Beijing, China's political and cultural heart, which impressively adds $458 billion. Taipei, Taiwan, a global leader in technology and electronics, adding a significant $327 billion. 8 on the list, Mumbai, India, a vibrant city and financial hub, contributing a remarkable $368 billion to Asia's vast wealth. Top 10 shoe brands in 2023. Nike expected to maintain position with technology and collaboration. Adidas to remain dominant with sustainability and celebrity partnerships. New Balance to make a comeback with comfort and quality focus. Puma to resonate with consumers with sustainable materials and designs. Reebok to stand out with classic designs and high-end collaboration. Converse to remain popular with classic designs and artist collaboration. Vans to push boundaries with unique designs and artist collaboration. Under Armour to continue upward trajectory with innovative materials and partnerships. ASICS to stand out with performance, quality, and sustainability focus. Lastly, Fila expected to maintain popularity with stylish and versatile offerings. The largest desert on Earth is the Sahara Desert, right? Absolutely wrong. It's Antarctica. But is it a desert? Absolutely, and here's why. Antarctica is a desert due to its low precipitation levels. 90% of the world's freshwater is locked up in Antarctica's ice. The continent has a barren, windswept landscape with limited vegetation. The average yearly rainfall at the South Pole is only 10 mm. The Antarctic Polar Desert spans the entire continent of Antarctica. Approximately 98% of Antarctica is covered by a permanent ice sheet. Antarctica's ice is 4.5 kilometers thick and took 45 million years to form. The interior of Antarctica is very dry, while the coast receives more precipitation. Antarctica is the largest desert on Earth, bigger than the Sahara Desert. In conclusion, Antarctica is the largest desert on Earth that is both dangerous and beautiful. Top 10 countries with the cheapest petrol prices in 2023. Venezuela has the cheapest gas prices at 6 cents per gallon. Libya and Iran also have cheap gas prices at 12 cents and 20 cents per gallon. Angola, Algeria, Kuwait, Egypt, Turkmenistan, Malaysia, and Kazakhstan have affordable gas prices between $1.19 to $1.76. The US ranks 34th with an average gas price of $3.75 per gallon in 2023. European countries and Hong Kong have the most expensive gas prices, sometimes well over $5 per gallon. Top 12 world's best countries to relocate and live in 2023. US News & World Report survey of 17,000 people. Number 12. Ireland offers economic progress, low taxes, and a high quality of life. The United Kingdom has a favorable business environment and top-ranked universities. New Zealand offers a relaxed way of life and access to public health care. Australia boasts a thriving economy and exceptional education. The Netherlands has strong public health and education systems and is tolerant. Germany is a leading economic power with solid systems in healthcare and education. Finland is known for safety, education, and civil rights. Norway stands out for security, politics, education, and its economy. Switzerland has a well-educated workforce and a strong economy. Canada is an industrial society with a high standard of living. Denmark has a stable government and commendable social mobility. Number 1. Sweden with healthcare, education, stability, and human rights. Top 10 rice-producing states in India. India is the second largest rice-producing country in the world. Rice contributes over 40% of India's total food grain production. In 2015 to 2016, India produced 104.32 million tons of rice. The largest rice-producing state is West Bengal. Uttar Pradesh is next. Punjab is third on the list. Tamil Nadu is fourth on the list. Andhra Pradesh is fifth. The states of Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Assam, and Haryana form the last 5 states in that order. India is the world's biggest exporter of rice, accounting for more than 40% of global shipments. You heard it right, the biggest exporter of rice in the world. Quite literally, India helps feed the world. Meet the solar system's 5 official dwarf planets in less than a minute. The International Astronomical Union recognizes 5 dwarf planets: Ceres, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris. Ceres is the only dwarf planet in the main asteroid belt and is the largest asteroid. Pluto was our 9th planet until 2006 and has a subsurface ocean. Haumea has rings and moons and rotates quickly, giving it an egg-like shape. Makemake has a reddish-brown surface and a moon called MK2. Eris is almost the same size as Pluto and has a moon called Dysnomia. If you like this content, hit the like button and subscribe. This lets us and the algorithm know that you found this valuable or entertaining. Top 10 countries with largest gold reserves in the pandemic. Central banks bought 272.9 tons of gold in 2020, 60% lower than the previous year. The Netherlands has 612.5 tons of gold, while India has 687.8 tons. By the way, this figure of India does not include non-central bank holdings, and just may put India at or near the top if you include non-central bank holdings of gold. Japan has 765.2 tons, Switzerland has 1,040.0 tons, and China has 1,948.3 tons. Russia has 2,295.4 tons, France has 2,436.0 tons, Italy has 2,451.8 tons, and Germany has 3,362.4 tons. The United States has the highest gold holdings with 8,133.5 tons. Air pollution is measured by the average concentration of PM 2.5 particles in the air, which are tiny particles that can harm human health and the environment. World Health Organization's target for air pollution is 0 to 10 micrograms per cubic meter. Anything above 35.5 is considered unhealthy. Sources: worldpopulationreview.com, fairbd.com, and fresherslab.com. Most air-polluted country in this list is India at 83.2. Next, Nepal at 83.1. Niger, 80.1. Bangladesh, 77.1. Pakistan, 76.8. Qatar, 76. Mongolia, 74.9. Afghanistan, 72.3. Nigeria, 70.40. Finally, least of the top 10 air-polluted countries is Egypt at 67.9. These are estimates based on sources given and may vary widely. Why did Russia sell Alaska to the United States? Russia sold Alaska to the United States in 1867. Alaska was sold for $7.2 million, which was considered a bad investment by many critics back then. Alaska's estimated GDP is now around $50 billion. Wonderful return on investment, isn't it? The then U.S. Secretary of State William Seward played a crucial role in the treaty. Russia needed to sell Alaska due to a depleted economy from the Crimean War. Harsh climate and inability to defend it also played a role. Negotiations for the Alaska deal started after the Civil War. The deal was fixed at a price of $7.2 million. Alaska is incredibly rich in resources and natural beauty. Alaska finally gained statehood in 1959. Human population reached 1 billion in 17th century, but took only 123 years to double, and just 33 years to reach 3 billion. Today, we are nearly 8 billion, and may reach 10 billion by 2050. The fastest population growth is in developing countries. Africa is the world's fastest growing continent, expected to double by 2050. Asia expected to increase by 1.5 billion people by 2050. Aging population. People over the age of 65 growing from 700 million in 2020 to 1.5 billion in 2050. More urbanization. Number of people living in urban areas expected to increase from 4 billion in 2020 to 6 billion in 2050. World's population with secondary education is expected to increase from 900 million in 2020 to 1.8 billion in 2050. People are becoming more diverse in thought and values, while more intercultural mixing is happening at the same time. Only time can tell how this plays out. Top 10 highest valued currencies in the world, 2023. Factors such as supply and demand, inflation rates, and economic stability affect currency value. US dollar is the most widely traded but ranks 10th. It's our benchmark. Euro is second largest reserve currency. 1 euro equals 1.09 USD. Swiss franc is very stable and ranks 8th. 1 CHF equals 1.12 USD. 1 Cayman Islands dollar equals 1.20 USD. 1 Gibraltar pound equals 1.28 USD. 1 Great British pound sterling equals 1.28 USD. 1 Jordanian dinar equals 1.41 USD. 1 Omani rial equals 2.6 USD. 1 Bahraini dinar equals 2.65 USD. 1 Kuwaiti dinar equals 3.26 USD, and is the highest value currency in the world at this time. Remember, the forex markets are always open and values fluctuate based on many factors. Top 10 countries with largest crude oil reserves, 2023. Depending on the source, rankings may vary slightly but are largely similar in trend. Venezuela, a country currently in socio-economic turmoil whose real wealth lies beneath the surface. It boasts the largest oil reserves worldwide. Next is Saudi Arabia, a kingdom built upon vast oil riches. Third is Canada, a country with tremendous oil reserves and natural beauty. Fourth is Iran, a nation whose economy relies heavily on its substantial oil reserves. Fifth, we journey to Iraq, a land with plenty of oil. Next, it is Kuwait, a small country with a big stake in oil reserves. United Arab Emirates ranks 7th, where striking oil has been a game changer. 8th place goes to Russia, having substantial oil reserves. 9th, we land in Libya, a country whose potential is locked within its oil reserves. Finally, we arrive in the United States, a powerhouse in oil reserves, wrapping up our top 10 list. Top 10 selling car brands in the world based on revenue 2023. Volkswagen Group is the largest automaker, ranked by revenue of about 284 billion USD. Toyota is the largest automaker by volume, known for reliability, revenue of about 260 billion USD. Daimler produces premium cars and commercial vehicles. Ford is known for popular brands like Mustang and F-Series trucks. General Motors operates globally with diverse brands. Honda manufactures automobiles, motorcycles, and provides financial services. SAIC Motor is the largest Chinese automaker. Hyundai excels in fuel efficiency. BMW Group, renowned for luxurious cars, is a dominant player in the premium segment. Nissan, a Japanese multinational, is known for cutting-edge technology, generates the least revenue of this top 10 list with revenue of about 75 billion USD.
Well, you're not. I think most people are chasing the same thing. You just don't know it. Happiness. Not money. Not anything else. Happiness. Most people want happiness, but they just don't understand how to get it. There's two basic things, as a doctor, I can tell you. One has to do with your health, not only you and your family and loved ones. The second thing has to do with financial health. So if you don't have these two things, there's no way in mankind's history that you can be happy. And that's important for you to know, I think. So the problem with the problem with people and money is that they just don't seem to understand the fact that it's very interlinked with their happiness. And I'm not here to say that money is all important. It's not, but it is very important. Just the same way as family is. The family, loved ones are equally important, if not more so. So what I'm trying to say is that we have to, all of us have to get into the mindset that not only family and loved ones and relatives, but also money itself, in itself, is extremely important. And that's what I would like to drive home today. The problem with money is that people don't understand that money is extremely important for happiness, and it's not the only thing that's important. Clearly, it's not. But it is very important. The only problem that I think a lot of people face with money is that because they're not good at it, or maybe they're not interested in it, that's the problem. Now, how do we get over that? The way we could get over that is by paying more attention to it. Budget everything, you know, whether it be budgeting, how much money we're spending, how much money we're earning, side hustles, all these things matter. So I just want to take a look at that for yourself, and then come back. So is traditional education really important for financial success? No, it's not. And I'm a doctor, I'll tell you, no, it's not. The problem with traditional education is that you do not get the practicality. You get the theoretics, but not the practicality. That's my opinion as a medical doctor, but I think it's true anywhere in the world, okay? So please do not mistake education as in traditional school education, university education, with financial success. It's not the same. Please do not do that. All right, so keep watching. Is the world fair? I wish it was. It's not, okay? I just hope you understand that. The first thing, if you get anything from this channel, the first thing I want you to learn is the world is not at all fair. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a fact. I'm sorry. If I ruined your expectations, I'm sorry. It's not fair. And you should know that. The reason why is because the world is not fair. Period. End of story. Okay? You should know that. And that's the reason for this video. You should know that the world is not fair. And by knowing that, you'll know that you should not expect anything, absolutely nothing from the world. Okay? Please keep watching. Look, I mean, I think the world is not fair, like I said, but there are certain pockets that are fair. Stock market is extremely fair. Whether you're Warren Buffett, whether you're Charlie Munger, doesn't matter. You and they are getting the same price at the same time on a certain company, Microsoft, whatever have you, same time. So that's one. There's some pockets in the world that are fair. Real estate, I would not say is fair, because you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you're going to get a better deal than me, who does not know that somebody. Okay, so make sure you understand about these things before you get into those deals. So we've financial risk. Financially, you need to know what kind of risks you need to take or cannot take. If you're a person who does not appreciate risk versus reward, you're not fit for the markets. Period. End of story. I'm going to be honest with you. You're not. Okay? Please do not spend a moment on the market. Put your money in some bonds, something safe. But if you want to really become rich, you got to enter the markets. Okay? The market means stock market. So what does that mean? We'll talk about it. But you have to understand this. Without that, you will not get truly rich. Period. All right, so if you're not in the stock market, you're not going to make money as much as you would. The reason why, it's very simple. Stock market, real estate is a place where you can put a lot of money into one property, okay, generally speaking. Now, REITs are, another thing, but for those of you who know them. So real estate, a house costs whatever. It costs a lot of money. Stock market, you can buy a single share of Microsoft, Amazon, what have you, okay? It's doable. 2, liquidity. You can sell, come out, exit the market if you need the money. Number 3, over long term, it's been proven, and if history is any lesson, that markets rise over time. So if you don't know which stock to pick, you can go with the index ETFs, S&P 500, NASDAQ, those type of things. Do it. Over the long term, underlying long term, you'll make money. Warren Buffett once said, I think something like, if you are not making money when you're sleeping, you're going to be working basically till you are retired or die, right? So that's very true for the vast majority of us who are not in the top 1% or 2%, whatever. This is where the stock market comes in, and why I don't have anything to sell. I'm not going to be selling anything to you. I'm just saying what I think. That's all. It's my opinion, okay? Take it for what it is. I'm not a financial advisor. But stock market is a place that is fair. It's liquid. And we talked about how liquidity impacts everything. And we talked about how long-term impacts your just average Joe's investment and money. So these are the reasons why in the long term, stock market is going to make you a winner. And you should really think about it if you're not in the market. What does a doctor know about money management? Enough. You're going to go in different directions, fine. But I'll tell you one thing, in stock market, you get suckered into a lot of different products, okay? Make sure that you do your due diligence. If you're not sure, just invest in the index funds, whatever you have, okay? If you're sure, if you know what you're doing, options, so-called derivatives, right? They're there for you. But just realize they're modern nuclear bomb sort of things, financial, right? Just be relaxed and chill. So derivatives in the market, stock markets, are extremely good. They could be extremely bad. They are weapons of mass destruction or mass construction, okay? Having said that, options are one type of derivatives. We'll talk more about that. If you're not sure about this, it's okay. Options are one, the other one's futures. I would say if you try to trade futures, you're probably not gonna do well unless you really know, unless you're really good at the markets, okay? And there are people that can do it, okay? I'm not gonna say there's nobody, okay? Options just give you the edge. They're slow, steady winners. So if you're gonna be full-time into the markets, okay? You just need to know about the power of derivatives and leverage. Is gold a good investment? That's one of the questions that we get a lot, I suppose. Gold is not a good investment. Gold is a good store of value, but even that is questionable because gold is always being mined. And so what is gold used for traditionally? Because it is so unaffected by elements on Earth, it is used as a store of value. Because haircuts 10 years ago were maybe $10, $15. Now it's more like $20, $25. So that's the reason why people invested in or put their money in gold, because they can store their protection, purchasing power protection, right? So that's the main reason why gold exists. But if you think gold is an investment, it's not. Because why? Main criteria is that it makes value. Does gold make value? No. Gold versus Bitcoin, what's the benefits of Bitcoin versus gold? Gold is a physical asset, Bitcoin is a digital asset, that's one. Gold is always inflationary no matter what people say. People find more and more reserves of gold, 5%, 7% inflationary. Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins. That's number two, for Bitcoin. Number three, it is a digital asset. It's done automatically online. So nowadays, anybody who has cell phone or whatever, signal, internet, whatever, they can use it to transact. Is it a good transactional model? Absolutely not. Bitcoin is not currency. So whoever says that is wrong. I'm sorry to say that, but is wrong. Okay? It is an asset. You hold on to it. Do you transact in gold? You never do. You hold on to it. Just like that, Bitcoin is something you transact. You don't transact, you hold on to. Okay? These are the key differences between gold and similarities and Bitcoin. Is crypto investing good or not? I would say do it if you have the ability to say, who cares, it's just money, okay? If you don't have that ability, do not invest in crypto, please. You need to have that attitude, who cares, it's just money, all right? You need to have the ability to say, and trust me, I understand, I've gone through everything. You need to be able to say, I lost money, it's annoying, I know that, it hurts, but it's not the end of the world. So put whatever you can, only if it's legal in your country, right? Only if it's legal where you are. Put whatever you can in a monthly standard fashion, okay? No matter what Bitcoin's doing, choose your currency. I would choose Bitcoin. I would choose probably some other coins, but not something crazy that just came up, okay? I wouldn't do that unless I really knew the people, unless I really knew the purpose, okay? ChatGPT has usage right now. Came out a few years ago for most people. Bitcoin has been around for more than 10 years, 2008, 2009. Why is it still we cannot find a good use form for Bitcoin? Think about that. So there's a difference between store of value and investing, and that's something very, very important for everybody to know. Store of value is just that, okay? It just protects your purchasing power, that's it, okay? Over time, and I don't mean to sound down upon anybody. You guys are all smart. You guys are all probably more intelligent than me. These are my learnings. Store of value is just that, where you keep your purchasing power alive over time. But investing creates value. That means it creates new money out of thin air. Now, that's not mumbo jumbo, okay? It creates money out of new air. Why? Because it creates value. Facebook creates the ability to connect people. That is people are willing to pay for that. Advertisers are willing to pay for that. YouTube is willing to get paid. People are willing to pay YouTube to create ads. So these are stores. These are not stores of value, actually. These are creators of value. So there's a difference between these two, and that's very crucial for you to learn. Otherwise, you would not know the difference between an investment and a store of value, such as gold or Bitcoin, which are stores of value, not investments, right? So that's important to learn. When I say value creation, what do I mean by that? Good businesses create value. If you look at any good business, okay, in the world, they create value out of thin air. They create money out of thin air, like that. You might say, how? No, they create money out of thin air because the fact is, good businesses create something that people do not have, but they want. That's the point. For example, I'll give you a very simple example that we all know. Facebook. The ability to connect people, the ability to connect human beings in different parts of the world, Africa, America, India, it doesn't matter, Pakistan, wherever you are, right? It's the ability to connect people that creates value. Now, this is extremely important for you to know, because otherwise you would not be able to understand what the value proposition of Facebook or Meta nowadays is, because this company is creating the ability for people to connect, whereas before, what was people were writing letters, calling people, texting people, hoping that the text message goes through. Now, you have the ability to log into your phone, see what messages you have from your friends in China or India or Australia or UK, US, what have you. So that is a value proposition in itself. And forget about all the other features. That in itself is a value proposition. So that is an extremely important reason why good businesses create value. And this is something you need to know, as opposed to a storage of value like gold, Bitcoin, or cryptos, whatever assets. Those things are store of value. They do not create any value as far as we know at this moment in time. They are a store of value. Whereas companies are creators of value. And that's exactly why Warren Buffett said, if you're not able to make money when you're sleeping, you're probably going to be working until you're retired or die. So keep that in mind and let me know what you think in the comments.
Despite his immense wealth, Warren Buffett resides in a modest house in Omaha, Nebraska, illustrating that value isn't always reflected in the price. Warren Buffett's humble lifestyle serves as a stark reminder that true value isn't necessarily tied to extravagant price tags. 20 Warren Buffett quotes to build wealth. Why do so many of us look for investment inspiration through Warren Buffett? A business prodigy, Buffett bought his first stock when he was just 11 years old. He then used savings to buy and install pinball machines in local shops when he was still a teenager. Although he got rejected from Harvard, a decision that admissions officers now surely regret, he would go on to become one of the world's most famous and wealthy value investors. Today, he is the CEO of a former textile company called Berkshire Hathaway that has been transformed into the world's highest priced stock, valued at $316,700 a share in August 2020. Investors turn to his advice with such admiration that Buffett has earned the nickname the Oracle of Omaha, a reference to his home state of Nebraska. Indeed, his sage perspectives on the market are so sought after that Warren Buffett quotes is among the most Googled phrases in the online wealth management industry today. Warren Buffett quotes are perhaps so desired because they are entertaining, succinct, and easy to digest. Funny and sharp, pithy and wise, Warren Buffett has become every bit the philosopher and high priest of the modern investment world. However, so dense has the internet become with vast lists of Warren Buffett quotes that, upon research, we discovered that it was necessary to craft a top 20 list that takes a more nuanced approach to long-term investing goals, the main pillar of the Buffett philosophy. Here, we provide a list of our favorite Warren Buffett quotes to inspire your long-term investment goals. Want to learn more about how to build wealth with investment strategies like those used by Warren Buffett? Follow this channel closely. Not sure where to begin? Learn more about how to start investing money in the markets with confidence. 1. The most important of the Warren Buffett quotes. Rule number 1 is never lose money. Rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. Otherwise known as Warren Buffett's Golden Rule, this quote sets the foundation for his philosophy for investing. Essentially, what Buffett is saying is that capital preservation should be the main priority for any investor when deciding to place your money into the market. In other words, stay rational. However, the statement is actually inaccurate to Buffett's actual track record of investing. Buffett has made plenty of losing investments over his lifetime. Ironically, he even counts his investment into Berkshire Hathaway, once a New England textile company, as one of his biggest regrets. This is because he, quite irrationally, started buying up shares in the company due to a feud with its then leadership. Perhaps the most important takeaway, even the Oracle of Omaha is human. One way to reduce the risk of losing money is diversification. For more on diversification, read Learning the Importance of Portfolio Diversification Can Prevent Huge Loss. Here's why. 2. Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. This quote forms a foundational pillar of Buffett's long-term investment ethos. What he is saying here is that, in life as with investing, you have to think about the grand trajectory of things. Overall, there is no better time to start thinking about that path than today. A tree takes time to grow, and so will most smart investments. Start early, be patient, and let your money grow. 3. If you aren't willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. We love this quote because it offers perhaps the best insight into how Warren Buffett approaches active and passive investment debate. Siding with passive investor legends like Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard Group, Buffett urges that we pick our investments wisely and be ready to hold on to them for the long haul if we wish to see real rewards. In this quote, he sets a clear divide with the emotional life of day traders, who prefer to scour markets looking for short-term aberrations instead of fundamental long-term growth. Buffett preaches that the smart investor should also assess a stock by the company's strengths and weaknesses, looking for long-term advantages it can win within its industry, that is, the fundamentals. This quote also reinforces the previous two quotes, underscoring a philosophy of patience and rational action. 4. Our favorite holding period is forever. When Buffett explained that you should not hold a stock for 10 minutes if you don't intend to hold it for 10 years, in actuality, we shouldn't take him literally. He is not making 10 years the ideal or the cap. Rather, the point is that you shouldn't hold a stock in the short term if you are not willing to hold it for the long term. In fact, Buffett prefers to hold a stock forever, an emphatic way of saying to concentrate on the long term. One implication of this is that Warren Buffett tries to find stocks that are worthy of being held for many years down the line. Instead of focusing on the short-term opportunities of a stock, he considers the fundamentals, the company's ability to innovate in its market, establish an industry moat, and consistently boost its profitability. This quote is especially relevant to passive investors. Instead of losing sleep over the short-term fluctuations of an ETF, you should focus on its long-term potentials and its fundamentals. Does it have good enough diversification? Is the expense ratio low? How does Morningstar rate the ETF? 5-star or 1-star? Is the ETF provider trustworthy? Is it liquid enough? How well does it track its underlying index, etc.? To be sure, the above quote does not mean that Buffett never sells a stock once he buys it. Just recently, Buffett exited his position in 15 companies, including Pfizer, United Airlines, Costco Wholesale, and JP Morgan Chase. He also reduced his investment in 22 other companies. Therefore, while his favorite holding period is forever, he does sell when he no longer believes in a company's fundamentals. The difference between Buffett and others who time the market is the reason for the sale, change in fundamentals, or to purchase another company with better fundamentals, rather than short-term volatility. In Buffett's own words, all there is to investing is picking good stocks at good times and staying with them as long as they remain good companies. 5. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. This famous Buffett quote strikes at the heart of the value investor approach and reveals the secret of how Buffett made his fortune. After Buffett was rejected by Harvard, he enrolled in an undergraduate degree at Columbia Business School, which is where he studied under Benjamin Graham, today known as the Dean of Wall Street. Buffett was largely influenced by Graham's magnum opus, The Intelligent Investor, which lays out the philosophy for value investing. Buffett's investment philosophy, deeply rooted in Graham's teachings, rests on discerning the inherent, long-term value of a company, irrespective of its current market price. Buffett's strategy is clear. Identify undervalued companies, invest during favorable conditions, and hold on to them for long-term profitability, a timeless approach to achieving financial success. Time to ask yourself the question, what and how do you want to invest? Hint, if you think Buffett does not indulge in financial derivatives, such as options, you are wrong. Stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, etc. It means a lot to us in the social media algorithms.
I'm curious about the impact of currency values on foreign investment.
No. The reason why you shouldn't care about foreign currency appreciation, exempting extreme values, extreme outliers, right, is because most currencies generally in the world tend to keep their value. Okay, that's number one. Number two, when you enter and exit, you're going to get your value back in that currency. That's number two. Number three, most currencies, like we said, are stable. So, and when I say most currencies, I'm not talking about, extremely volatile. I'm talking about mostly relatively stable currencies. They will retain their value. So for me, the most important thing is, what is the value proposition of the company or business that I'm investing in, not the value of the currency. That's the last thing I think about.
I wonder how currency values impact travel and tourism.
That's a great question. It does impact you as a traveler or a tourist, because if, let's say, you have $1,000 and some other currency where you're going to becomes stronger. So $1,000 used to be equivalent to, for example, $1,000 in the country that you're going to. Now suddenly it expanded. Now $1,000 is not equal to $1,000 anymore. $1,000 is only equal to $900. So the other currency became stronger. So now you have to deal with the issue that you are dealing with a currency that is stronger than what you thought you were going to be, right? So that doesn't happen too often, especially in stable countries. It doesn't happen that often, but and if it does happen, if you're coming from a stable country, like let's say, quote unquote, developed country, you are better off stable compared to the lesser known countries. So for the problem happens more so the opposite way. So let's say you come from a smaller country or a less developed country, go into a bigger country, and you have a lot of political turmoil. That's who it affects the most. So what I have to say about that is there's not really anything you can do. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are there that you can buy as a hedge, if it's legal in your country. But other than that, really, I can't really think of anything else to think of to suggest.
I wonder how these oil reserves impact social development.
That's a pretty big question, but I can tell you one thing. Oil reserves are not the only way that people can generate energy for cars, fuel, whatever. We have other sources of energy, including nuclear energy. We have other sources such as environmentally friendly energy, such as wind energy. We've got hydroelectric. The point is that people go to fossil fuel because it's the most effective way or the cheapest way to get it. Having said that, nuclear energy is very, very underrated. There's for those of you who know this, it's very simple, right? There's fusion, there's fission. Most nuclear reactors based off of fission, which is a dangerous process. That's why people, lobbies, interest groups talk about fission as a dangerous process for nuclear energy. But there is a concept called fusion, a scientific principle of fusion, which is extremely less likely to be dangerous, which can be used to create all of our nuclear clean energy. And that is something where the forefront of nuclear energy is clean energy. Aside from this, wind energy, the hydroelectric energy is there, but not to a level of nuclear fusion energy. So that technology is being stifled because of big interest groups, I think, and those interest groups have to realize that you can only suppress people and suppress knowledge and truth and science to a certain level. You cannot do that forever.
Warren Buffett is widely regarded as one of the most successful investors of all time. Yet, as Buffett is willing to admit, even the best investors make mistakes. Buffett's legendary annual letters to his Berkshire Hathaway shareholders tell the tales of his biggest investing mistakes. There is much to be learned from Buffett's decades of investing experience. Here is an analysis of 3 of Warren Buffett's biggest mistakes. Buying at the wrong price, confusing revenue growth with a successful business, and investing in a company without a sustainable advantage are all mistakes that Buffett has shared with his shareholders in his legendary annual letters to them. Among the companies that Buffett names as his biggest investing mistakes, he includes ConocoPhillips, US Air, and Dexter Shoes. In 2008, Buffett bought a large stake in the stock of ConocoPhillips, COP, as a play on future energy prices. However, this turned out to be a bad investment because Buffett bought in at too high of a price, resulting in a multi-billion-dollar loss to Berkshire Hathaway. The difference between a great company and a great investment is the price at which you buy stock. This time around, Buffett was even more wrong, since crude oil prices were well over $100 per barrel at the time. Oil company stocks were at high levels, leaving little room for price appreciation from the investment in ConocoPhillips. Buffett says, "When investing, pessimism is your friend, euphoria the enemy." US Air. Confusing revenue growth with a successful business. Buffett bought preferred stock in US Air in 1989, no doubt attracted by the high revenue growth it had achieved up until that point. The investment quickly turned sour on Buffett, as US Air did not achieve enough revenues to pay the dividends due on the stock. With luck on his side, Buffett was later able to unload his shares at a profit. Despite this good fortune, Buffett realizes that this investment return was guided by Lady Luck and the burst of optimism for the industry. Lesson learned. As Buffett pointed out in his 2007 letter to Berkshire shareholders, sometimes businesses look good in terms of revenue growth, but they require large capital investments all along the way to enable this growth. This is the case with airlines, which generally require additional aircraft to significantly expand revenues. The trouble with these capital-intensive business models is that by the time they achieve a large base of earnings, they are heavily laden with debt. This can leave little left for shareholders and makes the company highly vulnerable to bankruptcy if business declines. Buffett says, "Investors have poured money into a bottomless pit, attracted by growth when they should have been repelled by it." Dexter Shoes. Investing in a company without a sustainable competitive advantage. In 1993, Buffett bought a shoe company called Dexter Shoes. Buffett's investment in Dexter Shoes turned into a disaster because he saw a durable competitive advantage in Dexter that quickly disappeared. According to Buffett, what I had assessed as a durable competitive advantage vanished within a few years. Buffett claims that this investment was the worst he has ever made, resulting in a loss to shareholders of $3.5 billion. Lesson learned. Companies can only earn high profits when they have some sort of a sustainable competitive advantage over other firms in their business area. Walmart has incredibly low prices. Honda has high-quality vehicles. As long as these companies can deliver on these things better than anyone else, they can maintain high profit margins. If not, the high profits attract many competitors that will slowly eat away at the business and take all the profits for themselves. Buffett says, "A truly great business must have an enduring moat that protects excellent returns on invested capital." How does Warren Buffett select the best investments? Legendary investor Warren Buffett is known for following Benjamin Graham's school of value investing, seeking to invest in securities with a mismatch between their low price and their intrinsic value. Instead of becoming bogged down in the volatility of the stock market, Buffett analyzes potential investments from a more comprehensive perspective, honing in on a company's performance, debt, and profit margins. Buffett generally prefers companies with strong dividends and transparent management teams. What are some common investment mistakes? As the experience of Warren Buffett suggests, even the most successful investors make some decisions that don't work out as intended and generate losses. Buffett is far from the only investor who has committed the common errors of buying at the wrong price, confusing revenue growth with a successful business, and investing in a company without a sustainable advantage. Although some missteps are inevitable, it is important for investors to learn from their mistakes and adjust their strategies accordingly. How does Berkshire Hathaway operate? Run by legendary investor Warren Buffett since the 1960s and based in Omaha, Nebraska, Berkshire Hathaway is a holding company that owns a variety of well-known private businesses and also holds minority interests in many other public companies. Insurance subsidiaries such as Geico make up a large part of the company's portfolio. Berkshire also maintains large positions in household names such as Apple Inc. and the Coca-Cola Company. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement of big rallies and buy in at prices that you should not have. In retrospect, investors who control their emotions can perform a more objective analysis. A more detached investor might have recognized that the price of crude oil has always exhibited tremendous volatility, and that oil companies have long been subject to boom and bust cycles. The bottom line. Buffett says, "When investing, pessimism is your friend, euphoria the enemy." Your turn. What mistakes have you made? Share in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and share so that we, and the algorithm, knows that you want more of this content. Timeless Wisdom. Warren Buffett's annual letters to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Each year, Warren Buffett writes an open letter to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Over the last 40 years, these letters have become an annual required read across the investing world, providing insight into how Buffett and his team think about everything from investment strategy to stock ownership to company culture, and more. At the age of 26, a Nebraska stockbroker and school teacher named Warren Buffett took his retirement fund of $174,000 and decided to start his own investment business. 2 decades later, he was a billionaire. Today, the Oracle of Omaha has a net worth of around $85 billion, making him the 4th wealthiest person in the United States after Jeff Bezos, another CEO known for his shareholder letters, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg. Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett's firm, has the most expensive share price of any company in history, with each Class A share costing upwards of $330,000. Berkshire Hathaway's fundamental strategy has been to identify valuable companies and then acquire increasingly large portions of them. Among its most valuable holdings are its stakes in juggernauts of the American economy like Coca-Cola, 9.3% stake, and Apple, 5.4%. Its most valuable stake, with a market value of more than $120 billion US. Berkshire Hathaway also owns just under 19% of American Express, 11.9% of Bank of America, and 9.8% of US Bancorp. It has purchased controlling stakes in some 60 companies, including well-known brands like Geico, Dairy Queen, and Fruit of the Loom. Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio is also full of more obscure successes too, like See's Candy, which Buffett calls his dream business. Buffett bought See's Candy for $25 million US in 1972, and by 2019, it had brought in well over $2 billion US, a nearly 8,000 times return. Investors in Berkshire Hathaway have also done well. Since 1965, the price of Berkshire's Class A stock has increased by more than 2,800,000%. That's compared to a roughly 23,000% increase in the overall gain of the S&P 500 over the same period. It's no wonder Buffett publishes an updated table of Berkshire's per-share performance alongside the stock index at the beginning of each year's shareholder letter, which has become an annual event in the world of business and finance. Beyond some tremendous wins, Buffett himself is in some ways another quiet success. He preaches the importance of fiscal responsibility, and he still lives in the house he bought in Omaha for $31,500 in 1958. He eats at McDonald's and drinks at least 5 12-ounce servings of Coca-Cola every day. This down-to-earth quality comes through in Buffett's letters, too. In between accounts of Berkshire's current holdings, he tells jokes, shares anecdotes, and relates quippy aphorisms to help illuminate his core points. He mocks himself for making mistakes and sings the praises of Berkshire's army of CEO managers. He offers an investment philosophy grounded not in complicated financial analysis, but often in common sense evaluations of what a particular company is worth. The result is an eminently quotable collection of homespun investing wisdom. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. 2008. For investors as a whole, returns decrease as motion increases. 2005. Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy, only when others are fearful. 2004. You only find out who is swimming naked when the tide goes out. 2001. Below, we unpack 28 of the most important lessons from the last 4 decades of Berkshire Hathaway shareholder letters. Together, they form a compendium of the beliefs and advice of the man widely regarded to be the greatest investor in history. Table of contents. Executive compensation. Executives should only eat what they kill. Don't give your executives stock options as compensation. Stock ownership. Buy stock as an owner, not a speculator. Don't ignore the value of intangible assets. Conglomerates earn their terrible reputation. Market volatility. Ignore short-term movements in stock prices. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Save your money in peacetime so you can buy more during war. Investment strategy. Look for companies that reinvest their earnings into growth. Don't invest in businesses that are too complex to fully understand. Invest in unsexy companies that build products people need. Stock buybacks are often the best use of corporate cash. Asset-heavy companies can be good investments. Value investing. Never invest because you think a company is a bargain. Don't invest only because you expect a company to grow. Never use your own stock to make acquisitions. Global economics. America is not in decline. It's becoming more and more efficient. Current board of director incentives are broken and backwards. Management. Embrace the virtue of sloth. Time is the friend of the wonderful business, the enemy of the mediocre. The traditional model of executive incentives is outdated. Adopting a culture of strategic patience can propel businesses from mediocrity to enduring greatness. In a world fixated on instant gratification, strategic patience emerges as the disruptive force driving sustainable success in modern corporate America. This video would be complete without talking about Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner. Lawyer by profession, he's witty and concise, and few years older than Warren Buffett. Charlie Munger, despite his background in law, has proven to be an indispensable asset to Berkshire Hathaway, contributing significantly to its phenomenal success. Here are some of his top 5 quotes of investing in life wisdom. The big money is not in the buying or selling, but in the waiting. Spend each day trying to be a little wise than you were when you wake up. A lot of people with high IQs are terrible investors because they've got terrible temperaments. Investment isn't a test of intelligence, it's a measure of temperament. High IQs can falter, while composed minds tend to prosper in the long run. Simplicity has a way of improving performance by enabling us to better understand what we are doing. If you found this video valuable, would you kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe? It helps us and the algorithm know that you value and appreciate this content. Thank you. Until next time.